Okay, hello and welcome back once again to another episode of Focus. You know, it's a crazy world we're living in, but it's a really nice one, especially when you see flying motorcycles, or well, an eVTOL style one anyway, introducing the Airwolf, a cruise-capable eVTOL rocking tilting thrusters. Like I said, Earth is amazing, not just the people, not just the places, but what we can do with it, what we have done with it, and what we have yet still to do with it. Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Focus. And thanks for joining. So, moving on swiftly. A Czech company called UDX is, or has, a flying scale prototypes of a tandem 2-up eVTOL it calls the Airwolf, with individually tilting ducted fan propulsion. It's got enough wing surface for efficient cruise flight as well as agile movement from a hover. Imagine walking early Sunday morning to ride the twisty coastal mountains of beautiful Southern California. It's going to be a perfect day and you expect exactly zero traffic because you're leaving the Hayabasa in the garage and you're taking your UDX Airwolf hoverbike. You don your lid, crank up your favorite tunes, spin up the ducted fans, lift off and hover out of your garage before blasting off with all the youth and vigor you've ever known. Within seconds, you're doing 142 miles an hour or 230 kilometers an hour, speeding over traffic, stoplights, and police with radar-like peregrine falcon on your way to your favorite canyon. Well, this is the dream for Czech startup UDX. It's working hard towards. Airwolf is a 430 horsepower or 320 kilowatt motorcycle-esque eVTOL with hummingbird-like agility that seats two. It may look like a typical quadcopter, but what really sets the Airwolf apart from most other buy-and-fly eVTOL designs I've seen is the tilting propulsion pods. Each of its 4 shrouded fan units can move independently. Those aren't just structural stanchions holding it together either. They're bona fide wings, meticulously designed and engineered to be effective enough in forward flight to generate roughly 50% of the lift needed to keep this hoverbike in the air. All that lift means more efficient flight, which means less draw on the batteries, giving you a longer range than you would have otherwise. The Airwolf should weigh in at a fairly hefty 639 pounds or 230 kilograms, but still promises to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour or 96 kilometers an hour in 3 seconds, with 142 miles top speed or 229 kilometers. They say neat. The consequence of high maneuverability and speed with all that weight is an estimated 25 minutes of flight time and a 41 mile or 66 kilometer range, which they say is not so neat, but I think is still pretty cool. But what a thrilling half an hour that would be. Apologies. It would be like having your fantasies of being Maverick from Top Gun performing all the high banking aerobatics the electronic flight controller would allow you as you whiz through a steep walled canyon with a 360-degree view, feeling the rush of the wind and maybe even the excited squeeze of your pylon had you taken off with a passenger or picked up one along the way. And then you see the price tag of US 320,000 or 100,000. Only the well-heeled need apply. So that's the dream. And the renders, where's the reality at? UDX has built working prototypes at small scale and roughly quarter scale. These incorporate that thrust vectoring propulsion system and they look reasonably stable and agile in flight testing. Check the largest out in the video below with a complete cute little plastic rider. And as always, I will be posting a link to this article up in the show notes, so obviously you can check it out, or if you just search Airwolf, I'm pretty sure you'll find the video. It's a long way from production, in other words. Actually, wait till the thoughts and facts and you'll find out. And probably still a long shot. But it's got a shot nonetheless. With battery and electric motor technology improving on what seems like a daily basis, these relatively compact personal eVTOLs no longer look like a retro futurist dream. They're already here. Albeit expensive and in small numbers, some are pitched as fun machines, others aspire to be practical transport options for commuting to work, search and rescue operations, or quick responses to accidents. To fly the UDX Airwolf, you need to have a sports pilot license in the US. That means 20 hours of flight training, 5 of which you can do solo, and passing a couple of tests. Pretty easy and not nearly as expensive as a private pilot license. The UDX isn't the only company trying to feed the two-wheel thrill in the air. Lazareth Motovoltane, which is an Italian company, and believe you me, I'm going to be letting you know about it sooner, is a semi-functioning road and air going jet cycle from 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. It's not new. It flew while tethered to the ground with actual jet turbine engines in each of the 4-wheeled hubs. Yes, I know I said motorcycle and 4 wheels. If you check out the video, you'll understand what I mean. It's a bit of a transformer. Lazarus is the most motorcycle-looking of the bunch. Mayaman Aerospace, formerly known as Jetpack Aviation, is another. These guys also use screaming thrust vectoring gimbaled turbojets at each corner, with the expectation of using a single turbofan and ducting like a Harrier AV-8A jet in the future. Given that it runs on fossil fuels, Mayman's Speeder will boast proper range and speeds in the hundreds of miles per hour. The downside, of course, is that the turbojets are incredibly noisy and won't be suitable for takeoff and landing in your strict, quiet, HOA-run gated community of senior citizens. But it looks pretty cool nonetheless, though. Another eVTOL that caught our attention is the Airwolf, made by Air, an Israeli company that has functional aircraft available for pre-order today. Fully enclosed and closer to a Jetson-style flying car than a motorcycle, it does share some of the characteristics with the Airwolf. Namely, it's only a few personal, buy and fly VTOLs with the range extending wings, in this case contributing 60% of the aircraft's actual lift at speed. Lift like that gives the Airwolf a pretty impressive 110 mile or 177 kilometer range at speeds of up to 155 miles per hour or 255 kilometers. The Airwolf's battery pack can charge from 0 to 100% in only an hour. Another neat thing about the aircraft is the fact that its wings can fold up in 5 minutes, and it also fits neatly on a trailer so that you can take it literally wherever you want to go on vacation. But it's a closed cockpit, so there's that. It says which one would you choose. I don't personally have an issue with the fact that it's a closed cockpit, but that's a whole nother story. This UDX flying motorcycle can have some real potential. And I know it's a far cry from the rise of the robots, but it's more like a stone throw away. Stick with me. Once again, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Focus. If you stick around for the thoughts and facts section, I will fill you in a bit more about the company itself. So, welcome once again, and thanks for sticking around, and I appreciate every single minute of your time that you actually spare towards me. So, introducing UDX, or the company that created the Airwolf. Let's find out a little bit about them to begin with. They say they're a 5-man team, or they're a team of 5 full-time experts who work on a goal to develop, certify, and sell a drone for a 2-person crew. Imagine 2 years' time, this amazing flying machine is parked in your garage. The sun is shining, the sky is clear, you enter the garage and approach your Airwolf. Thinking about the feeling of flight, you can't help but smile. You get in, buckle up, and twist the accelerator. Airwolf lifts you off the ground and into the air. You float above the ground, turn the accelerator even more, and shoot up into the sky. The acceleration pushes you back into the seat. You're flooring the gas pedal in your electric car. In just 3 seconds, you're flying at 100 kilometers an hour. Today, just like every other day, you hesitate about whether to fly in a sports mode and cut corners and enjoy the G-forces, or fly in a comfort mode and just enjoy the landscape, clouds, and the sunny weather. The wind hits you like a wall. You feel alive, full of energy, and completely free. You head home after a while. How? At full speed, of course. It never gets old. You land, take off your helmet, and in the garage, you plug in your Airwolf to charge and go have a snack with the kids. UDX research is developing a product in the rapidly emerging segment of personal transport drones. According to Morgan Stanley estimates, the segment will reach 1.4 trillion globally by 2040. There are many small players competing in our industry looking for a scalable solution to meet the growing demand in the next decade. We have a product for the first customers of the new market and are at a stage where investment will allow us to quickly bring our product to market. Easy to use as riding a motorcycle, exciting and emotional flight experience. We want to come to the market not only with a great product but also in time. The first batch of products can be delivered within 3 years. And that's the company. How about a little more about the Airwolf itself? They say they're combining cutting-edge technologies to challenge the old ways of flying, transport, and fun. We're fearless and canny engineers, bringing the word future justice. eVTOLs. Our hoverbike is a tilt-rotor eVTOL, an aircraft capable of vertical takeoff, transition to forward flight, and vertical landing with an electric powertrain. The compact wings and their lift provide energy saving for longer flight. This brings a breeze to the flight while retaining the elasticity of a hummingbird. The motor's tilt ability gives us the power to control flight in challenging locations where absolute and unwavering precision is required. For all flight regimes, takeoff, landing, and the flight itself. Tilting. The usage of electric ducted fans instead of conventional large diameter free propellers in the design for the future. The application of EDFs enhances safety for the passengers and their surroundings. The same thrust for much smaller diameter compared to the conventional propellers allow for easier storage and quick transportation. Thus, it's suitable for both urgent transport to and from inaccessible locations and recreation and sport. The wings. The usage of lift surfaces results in lower energy consumption during horizontal flight. Therefore, the flight range is significantly increased. The wings are designed to be the most efficient for fairly low flight speeds of the hoverbike. Active steering surfaces are omitted. The resulting simplicity lowers the maintenance costs and achieves a robust reliability. The tiltability of the EDFs are controlling all aspects of flight stability and steering. The main construction material of the wings is a carbon composite, a very lightweight and sturdy material. Thanks to the carbon composite, the wings are easily able to bear both aerodynamic load and especially the load from the EDFs located on the ends of the wings. So, physical dimensions. The flight width is 4.5 meters, transport width 2.45 meters. The length altogether is 3.2 meters. Weight coming up at just under 300 kilograms at 290. The flight parameters. It's got a maximum speed, as mentioned, of 230 kilometers an hour, with a maximum power of 320 kilowatts and typically 100 kilowatts used in hover mode. Minimal 50 kilowatts used in forward flight. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3 seconds. Flight time is got a little squiggly line about 25 minutes, which would be dependent on whether or not or how long you have it in hover and forward flight mode. I'd say that's pretty obvious. The flight distance is up to 66 kilometers. But I'd say this, a skilled pilot would be able to push the boundaries on that pretty easily. Maximum payload is a 2-person, preferably 150 kilograms. The charge time, 2 hours typically on an electric car charger, or 6 hours on a typical consumer charger. 0 to 5 or no, I got that right. I got that wrong. Half an hour to an hour charge is possible with a sufficient charger. The price is 350k euros. And as for the pilot license, if you're in the US, as mentioned, you need a pilot's license, or in the EU, you would need an ultralight pilot permit, to fly it. Sports pilot certificate in the US or similar. And I know it said that they're out there for a while, but if you actually check out the website, that's right, you could actually book a test flight. I did not stutter. If you check out the website, you could actually book a test flight for this thing. Yeah? I'll give you a heads up though. Obviously, many people are out there trying to do it, so it's pretty booked, full up. So, I'd say, like most things, keep an eye out for it. You never know. You might just book yourself a flight on a flying motorcycle. I know it's said every time you hear it. But you know what? So, with that covered, let's move on to my thoughts on the situation. Honestly, I think this is pretty neat, but I'll keep it brief. Like I said, our history is pretty vast and we're making it pretty fast. So in the grand scale of it all, what is 17 minutes of your time, yet to be more. So basically, honestly, I think for an urban mobility transportation, I think that's got limited viability. I mean, let's think about this for a second. This 2-person, 3.5 meter wide vehicle flying left and right in, let's say, urban areas. One, the problem with that is you would have to park at designated spots. Not every building has what you would call a heliport, which is soon to become eVTOL ports or, flying taxi stands. Whichever you may decide to phrase it as. The fact is, these vehicles will not be able to be utilized as efficiently as they would be or could be if they were used in other environments, preferably in rural, island, or even mountainous areas, hard to reach places. I mean, just to give you an example, I'm sure many people are aware of what you would call the most treacherous roads to drive on. And some people class these as being in, deep landlocked nations. You'd be surprised to find many of those same roads on islands. It would surprise you. The fact is, vehicles like this, scaled up to carry, let's say, a few more passengers, would not only cut travel times, save petrol, electric, emissions, a whole host of things. It would actually be more viable because in those places and in those nations, you have a higher range of, or higher wind, more sun. Understand where I'm coming from? It would be easier to apply these technologies in those locations. And rather than using what they would call consumer chargers or even a specified charger, they need to revamp and rethink what they call or how they utilize it. So in each charger or in each destination, what they should have is a completely, how you call it, green charging point. So it would be powered by wind and solar. I mean, if you really want to put your mind towards it, you could make something that's powered by water in those same locations. I'm not going to give you all the full details. Any engineer worth his salt could think how easy it is. So I'm not going to bore you with it. But past that, I noticed something when I was going down on the website. They've got a partnership with the ESA, European Space Agency. So I'm not going to fantasize on this. I'm just going to keep it brief, because if the ESA is interested, that means they can actually see a viable use for this. So let's fast forward for a second. Imagine a planet with a viable atmosphere. If not a viable atmosphere, using, let's say, I think it was the Mayman's version of this quadcopter, quad cycle, whatever you'd like to phrase it as. How do you call it? Solid burning. A solid petrol version would run in a zero atmosphere planet easily. But with a planet that has an atmosphere, let's take for example Mars, or even say Venus. Something like this would be able to run even more efficiently and faster and smoother on one of those planets. And obviously, I would see it being, how would you call it? A way for you to move around on any planet or even the moon and create or have minimum impact on the environment. I mean, everyone loves the idea of rovers going all over the planet or over all of these planets, but the issue many reservists have is the fact that everywhere these rovers go, they leave evidence. There's tracks. So, it disturbs the environment. They foresee it causing or leading to, premature results, maybe, when you see they're taking the samples, testing for the future and whatnot. Either way, I did kind of digress and go a little far with that one. Let's rewind once again. Yeah. I can see this being even more viable if, let's say, you had to set it up with dedicated flight paths. If you did that, then not only would you have it be more efficient, you could also add some form of AI optimization, which would and speed.